Hi guys, how are you doing? Karibuni to Glow Up with Makena. As always, I am your girl Makena. Remember, if you're watching this without subscribing, you guys, you are hurting my feelings, and I do this because of you. This is where we bring you the creme de la cremes. This is where all your wishes are met because they are my commands. Today we have an amazing legend. Hey, this guy, I think in Kenya, he has the best voice ever in radio. I'm talking about the one and only, none other than Mike Mondo.
Sema, how are you doing, my
Finally.
sister? Yeah, kila kitu. I know we were supposed to do this some time back.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, months ago.
It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Niaje?
Poko aje? I'm well, how are you?
Salama kabisa.
Nilipost unakuja na kwambia watu wameniheshimu huku nje. Wananiambia uko na connections.
Allah.
I know people.
Big shout out to you, by the way. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm a subscriber.
I know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sasa utanipatia commission lini?
Commission? YouTube ikianza kunilipa tena.
Guy.
But karibu sana.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's get to know a little bit about the guy behind the voice and the guy behind, the mic. Aya, sasa tueleze kidogo umelelewa wapi?
Mimi.
Let's get a little background.
Mimi mtoto la Pwani, by the way. Big shout out to watu wangu wa Mombasa. I've been born in Mombasa. Went to school, primary and secondary in Mombasa. Nilikuwa Loreto, Mombasa. Big shout out to alumni. And Kenda Lidina Visram in Mombasa. And Somea Lidina 4 years. Also asanteni sana Lidina Visram. Then after that, moved to Nairobi. And came here, did nursing, studied nursing, then worked for a year in Kilifi after graduating. And then after that, something just told me it wasn't a good fit for me. So I decided ningie radio.
Had you been forced to do nursing or ilikuwa your own choice?
Yeah, those are those things you do because your parent has told you, study this. You're told, but they want you to be a doctor. You have to have a doctor in the family.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sikufikisha cut-off point at the time.
Ya kwa daktari.
Ya medical school. So I decided, let me take something lesser. So the plan was study nursing, graduate. After you graduate, you go abroad because nurses abroad earn a lot of money.
Yes.
And then after you go abroad, then una transition into medicine. But I don't know, something changed in me. I decided that wasn't for me. I decided niongeleshe wa Kenya.
Okay. All right, so Mike, you are known as this household name.
Yeah.
People see you winning out here and they think it was always like that. They think it came at us, silver platter. They don't know the struggles that you went through.
Yeah.
So do you mind telling us the struggles, the challenges when you were starting out, especially transitioning from one career to another, which is not media? From nursing to now media. How was it for you? Did you have to study media for you to get in the space?
No, not really. The thing is, always had this thing where people always tell me, Mike, you were never you. Funny enough, as we're having these two drinks over here, it used to happen over drinks.
This just juice though.
So, in case you want to call it that, so. But people used to tell me, Mike, you always like telling stories.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to do something in media or something media related?
Yes.
And I used to be like, nah. Like it's not my thing.
Yeah.
So this one time when I graduated, I worked at Kilifi District Hospital.
Yes.
Under an NGO called the Kenya Association for Prevention of TB and Lung Diseases.
Yes.
And while I was there, at one point when I felt I can't do this job anymore, so when I quit, I moved to Nairobi, and I came to Nairobi actually to look for another job.
Wow.
I didn't want to work in Kilifi.
Yeah. So you're looking for a nursing job in Nairobi?
Yes, in Nairobi.
All right.
So you tarmac, you tembea, you pitia here and there. You look for a job here and there. Unashindwa mazenta pata wapi.
Yeah.
So this one time I ended up having to, if you know where Dennis Pitt Road is, kuna restaurant mahali hapo inaitwa Alfajiri. Opposite Alfajiri.
That's in Kilimani, yeah?
Yes, in Kilimani.
Okay.
Opposite Alfajiri is
Raw Media.
Citizen TV, Raw Media.
Yeah.
So I went there for lunch after a day of
Alfajiri sasa.
After a day of trying to find jobs,
Yes.
tarmac, I used to work, by the way, let me tell you, from Nairobi West, I was staying at my auntie's house. From Nairobi West, I would walk all the way to those sides of Kilimani, whatever. I'm just tamarking hospital after hospital trying to find something. So I went there for lunch, and when I was there for lunch, and I had lunch, and then I remember paying with 1,000 shilling note.
Oh yeah.
And then they couldn't find change, so they had to go and tafuta change. And I saw this big line. There were canopies and everything. There's a line, people. So me, out of curiosity, nikasema niulize ni nini. When I went to ask one of the guys on the line, he told me, by the way, I know Hot 96 is looking for radio presenters.
Wow.
So I remembered what my friends would tell me.
You love telling stories.
That you like telling stories.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. Let me ask, by any chance, how much do radio presenters earn? I'm like, hey, you haven't seen. And this guy went on his phone and was showing me pictures of lifestyles of radio presenters and everything. And I was like, okay, let me see. Okay, let me just try. Since I'm waiting for this change, actually, line. So I went on the line, and then I took earphones, put them in my ear, tuned into a radio station, and I was hearing what they were saying. Funny enough, I was tuned into Nation Radio at the time. Yeah. So I'm listening to what Nation Radio are doing and how they're talking and how and as the line is progressing, and then I get there. When we get there, my former boss, David Murray, by the way, big shout out to you. You actually started me off on radio. Yeah. So he just told me, imagine Tupac Shakur's Dear Mama has just ended.
To what?
Tupac Shakur. Dear Mama, that song of his. The rapper. Yeah. And how do you introduce the next? Whatever. So what I did is, what I had been memorizing in my ear is what I repeated. So I just went and said, that's Tupac Shakur playing on Hot 96 FM and coming up in a few, Notorious B.I.G. with his big hit. It's called Juicy. It's coming through in just a little while, but for right now also still on Hot 96, because shortly I'll tell you about why it is I hate paying for bills. And then I just did something very short and precise and everything. And he was like, what?
How? Yeah.
Have you been on radio before? And I said, no, I've never been. In fact, I'm a nurse. So he told me, okay, just go into the next segment, and we're going to give you a script, read the script, and we'll see how it sounds. So I went into this mobile booth they had created, went in, they gave me a script, and it was like it was a sports script where I was reading about something about Gor Mahia or something. And I read it the same way I was hearing it in my ear. After that, I went back and they told me, we're going to call you. So they called me 2 weeks later and they told me, how would you like to work? They told me first come for a voice test. So I go to Royal Media, I do the voice test. At this time, I'm still tarmacking, looking for a job. In fact, I'm not even taking it seriously. I went, I tarmacked, still looking for a job, As a nurse, I do the voice test. After that, another 2 weeks go by. And then I get a phone call and I'm being told, I'd like to call you for a meeting. And I went, I met with the then PC for Hot 96, and he asked me, I'd like to make you an offer. Please note, when I was working as a nurse at the coast, I was earning something around 18,000. 18? Yes. All right. So when I go for this meeting, this guy tells me I'm going to give you 50 G's to start off. And I was like, what do I have to do? Like, just talk on radio. Just do. Damn. I had no idea, not even how to run a desk, not even how to handle the software. I had no clue whatsoever. So all I thought about was the money. So I was like, 50 G's? Oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. Well, let's do it. So I go in and I start doing my show. People don't know this about me, but the first month of doing the show, I wanted to quit.
Why?
Yes, because after 30 days, there was so much hate I was getting.
Oh, yes,
from people on social media, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't know this job comes with that much attention. Yeah. So I was like, no, I need to quit. Then in comes a very good friend of mine, a DJ, it's called DJ Clyde. And DJ Clyde tells me... From Royal Media. Hi, Clyde. Yeah, he's a good friend as well. Yeah. So Clyde told me, no, you're not going anywhere. Wow. You will sit here and you're going to do that show. Wow. So I sat there and I kept on going. 3 months go by. I get put on as a permanent employee.
Yes.
After my probation period, I kept on working.
But it was
and
paid
working.
probation.
Yes, it
Okay.
was. Yeah. And then I kept working, going on. Then, like after a year, they went ahead and told me, like, you know what, Mike, we'd like to add your salary. And then the salary was added, and then I kept on wondering, come on, I just talked.
It's just talking.
And it was a 2-hour show at the time.
Wow.
And so
Every day though?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
It used to happen after, there was a presenter called Chris Okinda. So when Chris Okinda would finish the drive show at 7, I'd come in from 7 to 9 to do a radio show. And every year they just kept on adding that pay. And I was like, surely for 2 hours of work. And I never used to understand it. On the flip side, however, the audiences kept growing. So that happened for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then at some point, my boss currently, Pete Sinclair, so he comes through and calls me up for a meeting. We sat, in fact, we met at Java Sarit Center. And he told me, we'd like to hire you to come join XFM.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, fine.
That was in 20?
This was in 2013, early 2013.
Now, when he was approaching you to join
Yes.
XFM, right?
Yes. So he tells me, you know, join XFM, and I was like, okay, what's in it for me? He gave me a number.
Yeah.
When he gave me that number, it was more than what I was earning.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, why the hell not? Let me just do it.
Yes.
So I talked to my boss at Hot 96. Once we talked to my boss, I told him this is a higher financial income situation. So I need to move unless you can match it, right? And he told me, Mike, if it's growth, go ahead and chase that dream. So I left, went to XFM, and then I started working. I did my thing, and even at Radio Africa, same thing. While I'm at XFM, you know, every year, you know, that pay just kept on increasing and increasing, and this was still shocking me for some reason. I was like, what?
Actually, to ask, did you remember to go back for your change?
Yes.
Or were you too excited to even?
No. I did get my change. It was the only money I had. Really float. Hakuna kitu ningefanya. I had to wait. I did get my change. Yeah, so I joined XFM. So I work every year, you know, you get that little pay increment. And I kept on wondering, how does this work? So that's when I started really learning about radio and how radio works, and how they make an income, how things work in terms of the radio economics of things. Then I was like, damn, these guys make this amount of money and I get paid this?
Yeah.
Hey, that's insane. So one day, the former drive host of Classic 105, Larry Asego, one day he had to take time off work.
Yes.
And when he took that time off work, I remember I was coming in for my drive show on XFM, and when I got there, I remember Pete Sinclair telling me, no, wrong studio, don't get into the XFM studio, get into the Classic studio. And I was like, why am I going to Classic? You know, I work for X. He told me, no, you get in there.
Wow.
And do that show, because there was no one to cover for Larry at the time, because a lot of people had taken leave, and Larry really had to take his leave. So I got in and I did the show, and I remember that's the first time I ever got a phone call from my CEO. At the time, he was our CEO.
Yeah.
Patrick Kwako. And he told me, good job. And I didn't take much out of it.
Yeah.
I just sort of like took it like, okay, thank you, and let's leave with me and everything. I did not know at the time that Larry also had been planning to leave.
Yeah.
And so he had resigned.
So it was more of being tested
kind of
indirectly,
like
an audition without being told it's an audition.
In hindsight now, I look like maybe it was let's try this guy, let's see. Yeah. So I'm being told that, you know what, you're going to take over this show permanently. Yeah. It was one of the most shocking experiences in my life. Was
Seth there at that time? Because now you're working with Mike and Seth.
At that time I was by myself.
Okay.
It was just me alone.
Yeah.
In fact, my first co-host was Terry Muikamba, who's now at Hot 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while we were there, I tried doing my best, but same thing kept happening.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing a good job, and they keep topping up your pay.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I remember even talking to my mom once, and I was like, I don't understand this. This is like,
it's insane.
Is it that's how things work? And my mom told me, as long as you're doing it and people feel the need, or rather people feel that you are worthy enough to earn more, so appreciate it. Maybe that's what you were supposed to do in life.
Yeah. But then as a radio host, do you have like a secret to attracting your audience? How do you identify? Because in radio you don't like see them one-on-one. It's not more visuals. It's hearing and getting the calls in, the messages.
Yeah.
How do you have like a recipe
for
attracting your audience?
For me, it's about talking. I always like talking like I'm talking to one person.
Yes.
I don't like discussing like I'm talking to other people. It's just of late is when I've been trying to reinvent myself.
Okay.
So that I want you to listen to me because I want you to feel like you're eavesdropping on a conversation, right?
Yes.
But when I started, it was all about, I would even use certain exercises. I'd put a bottle of water in front of me and then I'd dress it. It's like I'm talking to you right now.
Yes. So you'll assume this is a person.
Yeah, this is a person. And then I would talk to that person.
Yeah.
And as I talk to that person, the end effect is that whoever listens feels like I'm talking to them.
Yes.
You understand? Because you're not... There are these nuances people like using in radio. I really hate them. When people say things like, you guys out there.
Yeah.
Really annoying. You guys out there. That means it's like you've clumped us in our room and you're telling us, guys.
Yes, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so... But for me, that used to be my thing. I used to talk like I'm talking to one person.
Yeah.
And then that way it would translate to...
Yes.
To everyone. Everyone gets what do you call it, an emotional or a personal connection with me, because if I'm talking about a phone and I say, by the way, hey, have you ever tried using this phone? I know your phone may have this issue, that issue, that issue, but how about you try this phone? Imagine it can help this way and that way and that way. So every time you listen, you feel like I'm talking directly to you.
Yes.
So that was my thing.
Oh, that was your secret recipe.
That was my secret recipe.
Okay.
But as I've grown also, I've learned that a lot of audiences, Wakenya especially, munapenda mushene.
Nani hapendi mushene lakini?
If you sat here and the table next to you, people are talking about, mwanaume aliniwacha, nini. You will start, in fact, you'll forget your conversation with the person you're sitting with right now. You want to hear, what is this lady saying? So now with Cess, that's what I try to emulate, to try and talk to Cess in a way that you see these are two very good friends.
Yeah.
And you want to eavesdrop on what they're saying. Because Mushene is big.
Is a connecting factor. All right.
Yeah, that's basically the story of how I ended up.
How you got into radio. You have this nice articulation of words. Your English is quite international.
Yeah.
It's not like twanging, but it's kind of twanging, you know?
Yeah.
But any chance ushaelewa maju?
See.
Wewe ni mtu wa Kenya kabisa?
Mtu wa pwani, kwanza acha nikueleze, naweza kuongelesha Kiswahili safi sanifu kabisa.
Walai.
Hadi utashangaa. Lakini kwa sababu wajua ukiwa pwani, acha nikueleze na Kiswahili. Ukiwa pwani,
no, you connect with your people.
Una connect na watu wa pwani, sio? Lakini hata mimi nilisomeshwa private school sana. Kwanza my first year Loreto Mombasa, watoto wengi walikuwa wazungu, kulikuwa watoto wa asili tofauti, yani different cultures and vitu kama hizo. Sasa sana tukiwa shule, tukiwa pwani Loreto Mombasa, ilikuwa Kiingereza ndio ilikuwa lugha.
Oh really?
Tulikuwa tuongeleshana Kiswahili. Tulikuwa tuongeleshana Kiingereza. Na Kiingereza unasikia ni ile Kiingereza ya international. Naona mtoto labda baba yake ana pesa ama nini na vitu kama hizo, unakuta watu wengine ni wazungu, watu wengine ni hivi. Sasa vile mkiongeleshana mnakuta kwamba wewe unafika ile unaanza kuadapt basically vile wanasema matamshi. So you'll find that I can talk very well in English
and Swahili perfectly as well.
But in Swahili, if you put me Old Town Mombasa, nakwambia mtu atafikiria nilikuwa naishi huko miaka yangu yote.
Wallahi. Oh, okay. Lucky, blessed are you. Me, I always thought hujui Kiswahili. No, at least we know that bit of you.
I can even, funny enough, people don't know this about me. I can do a Swahili show.
Really?
Very well.
Lakini tushazoea, classical 5. This is Makesas.
But I can actually do a Swahili show completely, fully kabisa. When ukiona hata wengine hao ambao tunafanya kazi nao, watu kama kina Bramwell, kina Masawe Japani, kina Gidi na Ghost, hata hiyo show naweza ifanya na Kiswahili.
Wow. So what will you consider your biggest regret so far?
That I didn't I'm in a career that I love, that I enjoy, but I studied something different. I find that really annoying. In fact, that's what it always, it always encourages me to tell myself all the time, Mike, you need to go back to school, you need to go back to school. Because I do believe, fine, the talent may exist, but there are things I believe that I need to understand on a
deeper academic level.
In an academic level, on a deeper level. And so it always encourages me, tells me all that. I always feel like, maybe.
So are you going to go to? Will you go back to school?
Yes.
I was actually, because I've asked. We were with Chito here, Chito Ndlovu, a few minutes ago, and there's a question that I've asked him. You being in the media world, because I was having this conversation with a friend of mine sometime, I think earlier this week. Nikamuuliza, we were talking about, radio personalities, being in the radio space. And we were saying how much this space has been tampered with in terms of kitambo. It was either you're a professional, you've done the course. So even conversations on radio were worth listening to as a CEO, as a, But these days you find that comedians unafanya skit moja mbili, umekuwa famous, unapewa kazi kwa radio without even the papers, without the training. So unapata, that's why there's clout, that's why kuna majina zinachafuliwa za radio. Wewe mwenyewe hujasomea. Did you undergo any training kwanza?
Probably maybe a week or so.
So yours was more of apprenticeship?
Apprenticeship, It was more like, come, this is how you use the desk, this is how you run this software, this is how you work with your producer. It was basically like thrown into the deep end.
Because the talent was there. So now, as a person who hasn't really pursued media but is there, but haujaletea company yako, shida, because not everyone who's been taken mwenye hana papers mwenye hayuko worthy to know. Definitely you are worthy of the opportunity that you've gotten. So as a person who has been there practically, bila hizo papers, but you maintained your discipline, you were in a different field, but we don't know you as a nurse, now we know you as a presenter. What advice would you have for those people when hawana hizo papers and they are doing radio right now, but most of them think cloud chasing is the way to go?
Let me tell you, there's a difference between fame. I know a lot of people like fame nowadays. So fame and basically fame, and there's a word for it. I don't know, it escapes my mind. But the idea is this. You see, radio, you have to understand, is a game of numbers. For those who don't know, it's a game of numbers. It's about how many audiences are listening to you. Why some of us get these jobs, for example, as opposed to other people who have actually studied it, you see, is because simply that on air you want entertainment. In the background, however, you want the actual the business side of it, for lack of a better way to put it. So that's why you find someone does a skit and they get it, because it's a job of entertainment. It's theater, theater of the mind. So you'll find you may have studied doing something, but for some reason you just don't have the entertainment factor of it. So maybe you'd be good at being a program controller, you'd be good at being a producer, you'd be good at doing other things, right? When it comes to those who don't maintain discipline, I always tell them, the advice is, don't ever let fame get to your head. Fame is a fleeting thing. Kwanza with the Kenyan audience, oh my God. They will love you today, and tomorrow they will throw you under the bus. It is what it is, by the way.
True.
And that's the thing with fame. So if you're chasing clout, then you probably need to ask yourself, then you need to put a timeline on your ability to be on radio. You need to ask yourself, am I here? If I'm here for the clout, then put a timeline on it. I need the clout to do XYZ things. Then when I
by this time,
by this time, lakini kama hauna ile discipline, ile personal conviction kwamba napenda hii kazi, kwamba I enjoy talking to Kenyans and telling them these stories and telling them different things, then I would say, in my opinion, you won't last long in the industry. You will not. Your bosses don't look at how funny you are or how interesting you are. That is what your audience looks for. Your bosses look for, how can I make money
through you? Yes.
And a lot of people don't get this. They feel like, yo, I'm a big name. Because I'm a big name, I should be a star. I should walk on red carpets everywhere I go.
Yes.
That's fallacy. That's what your audience will enjoy. But your bosses will never look at it that way. They'll be looking like, fine, you walk on red carpets, but is it translating to money for the business? Because at the end of the day, radio is a business. And that's why one of the reasons why I feel like I want to understand the back end is that I'm very good at dealing with the audience. But I need to understand better
the business side of it.
Yes. And once I understand that business side, that's why I always talk about me. I know I'll go to school. I know I'll go back to school again, because I need to understand what does it take business-wise to make a radio show work. A lot of people even have podcasts and have all of these things, and as they do them, you find that the talent is there. But they can't monetize it. They can't turn it into, and that's where presenters, and I believe this, presenters, if you're there, let me even talk to you, if you're there and you know, fine, you did not study for that job, you did not study for it, and then find a way to go and learn about it. Because it is important for you to understand the business side of it. And that way, even with your own brand, you'll be able to understand, okay, I'm really good at this, but how do I monetize it? How do I make it work for me? So that in the long term, you don't become another statistic where we always have, we hear of a retired presenter who is struggling somewhere, and we have to do M-Pesa pay bills to raise funds. This job is not forever. Let me tell you, there's someone else who's coming through who's probably better than me at what I do, and it's cheaper. On the business side, it will make sense to hire that person.
Of course.
But on a talent side, your audience may not appreciate it, but they'll learn to love him eventually.
So as a household name, I'm sure you get a lot of requests. Please mentor me, nini. But I feel like I've been getting these lately. That's why I really want to talk about it with a lot of people who've already made it in the industry. You find people telling you, you're my role model, you're my mentor, but in their minds, they have really misinterpreted that word. For them, mentorship is getting a through pass through you. Because they see you have the connections, they see you're on a big platform. So to them, mentorship is connect me to Belmotua, connect me to Kiss 100, let me get a job. So according to you, I'm sure you've gotten that a lot. Like, I come to you, Mike, can you please mentor me? But I'm not asking the right questions. For me, when I come to you, I'm telling you, please give me a job. No, that's mentorship too. That's what we've turned mentorship and role modeling to be. So I'm sure you get that a lot. So how do you deal with that, and what's mentorship really according to you?
I always, if I can start from what mentorship is, let me tell you. You can only be mentored if you're doing something. It's something I always tell people. All these guys who DM me all the time. Oh, Mike, I'm a radio presenter. Rather, I'm an aspiring radio presenter. I want to do this job and everything. I always tell them the same thing. What have you done so far? You see, if you come to me and you're trying something. You understand? Just like you with Glow Up with McKenna. When you're doing Glow Up with McKenna, if you went and talked to Disney and said, I'd like some help in pushing my channel, or rather in growing my channel, teach me how to different skills in shooting these videos and everything. You have a point of reference. You can say, this is what I'm doing. Show me what I'm doing wrong. You understand? So with mentorship, same thing. You can't come and tell me that I've just graduated, I've got this degree in, let's say, communications, media, mass comm, whatever it is. And then you tell me, Mike, mentor me. No, you're not asking me to mentor you, just like you said. You're asking me to give you a job. I don't have that job to give. Classic 105 is not my mother's company.
You're under somebody as well.
I'm under someone at the same time, right? So what you do is you start something. And then when you start it, mentorship now is you talking to Mike and saying, Mike, I've been doing this for this time. Things are not making sense here and there. What advice do you have? Now that is mentorship. Multimedia University, I've been there once before. they've got a whole fully functional radio station.
Yes. And the great Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Yes.
I had to black it.
Yes. But when you're studying mass,
yes.
you're not even using those platforms to try and create a name for yourself. Yeah. Get into that studio, record your podcast, ask for some time, talk to you or whatever. Say, every week I'll be coming in for 15 minutes to record my podcast or whatever. And you record it. And start doing that. Start putting yourself out there so that when you do it, you can talk to me and say, Mike, listen to this link. What do you think I should change?
Yeah.
I would definitely listen to it. I will definitely send you a reply and tell you, you know what? Change this and change this, change this and that.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done it, then baba. Kampuni si ya mama yangu.
True. Yeah. So Mike, we need to tell you to tell us, you know, the ladies love you, the ladies love your voice. Ooh, are you dating? For those who live under the rock, hawaja kufuata Instagram. Because the answer is there, but tell us.
After exclusive.
Yeah, of course. We do exclusives exclusives over here.
I have someone in my life. A beautiful girl.
Very
amazing
pretty.
Humor. You've seen her before.
I've met her actually.
Oh, you've met her?
Yes.
Yes, you have
I've
actually.
met her.
Yeah, you've met her.
She's such a good soul, man.
Yeah. Things are serious. And hopefully sometime next year.
Harusi.
Utasikia naita watu tuende tukapeleke ng'ombe.
Oh my God, congratulations. I am so happy for you. Yeah. Make sure umetuita kwa hiyo lineup ama get crash. And there's nothing you'll do about it. Tunataka keki sana, tunataka hiyo keki sana. Aya, so there's a time you said about not regretting cheating on your ex-lover. What's your take on cheating in relationships? Because that's the deal breaker, I think,
how?
in a meaning.
When we talk about cheating, like because when we say cheating, so cheating.
Flirting.
Cheating can be emotional, cheating can be physical.
Let's talk about the physical one.
The physical.
Yes.
Umekula nje.
Umekula nje, literally. See,
of course it's not. It's not right. It's not right. And I will say it. It's not right. If I believe just be honest about what you want to do on a physical level with the person you're with. And right now, I mean, Kenya is very sexually diverse, you know. You can be part of the LGBTQ community as much as it is not recognized by law, but you can be that. There are people who are swingers. There are people who have more than one wife or girlfriends. I mean, there's a lady who even is dating twins.
Now she's pregnant and doesn't know who is the dad. Yeah.
So we're very sexually diverse. I think we need to get to that point where we tell your partner, if we're unajua ni kadinya,
mwambie tu kweli.
Just say, by the way, mama, me, I'm with you. Yeah.
That's an open relationship you're talking about here.
It's not an open relationship. It's not.
Okay.
What you're saying is, I'm with you, but every once in a while, nataka visa. Everyone's not that easy ati ni kitu tunafanyanga kila siku. Be open about it. And why I say that, be open about it, is that it prevents a lot of problems.
Sure.
Prevents a lot of issues and situations that you don't need.
Yeah, true.
There are former colleagues of mine I know that who have gone around and had secret families. There are friends of mine that I've known that. Just be honest. You want a second wife, tell your woman, by the way, me, I feel like I need a second wife. It's not a statement to her inability to satisfy you as a man, but it's a statement of you being honest about how you are and you understand that this is how I feel and this is what I want. Now, if you want that, so you just say it. Ukiachwa ni sawa. Boss, there are 7 billion people on the planet. Mi sijakudanganya, nimekuambia ukweli. Hii ni ukweli yangu. If it's my truth, why are we having a fight about it? Yeah. And if you truly love me, just like if you tell me your truth, you tell me I don't like the fact that, by the way, Mike, you come home at 2 in the morning every Saturday. Yeah. Since your truth. I may not understand it. I'll be like,
but at least I've communicated my truth.
But you've communicated your truth.
Yes.
And the more we are honest with each other about our physical needs and our emotional needs and our spiritual needs, then that way you end up picking the right person who can fit with your energy.
And make you have such a beautiful child, such a beautiful baby girl.
The child, Nicole.
She has your heart, all of your heart, Manze.
That's so, my first love. I told that to my mother, by the way.
She's your first love before your mom.
Yes.
Mama atakuchapa. Mama njoo uchape huyo.
Jam. Nimwambia by the way, Nicole is my first love and then you.
And then
others.
The rest come later.
Yeah.
All right. So how is co-parenting for you?
I think it works. At least in my case, maybe I got a good baby mama, but
she's in dramatic. She's into the baby man. Those dramas, nini.
No.
Wow.
She's to her, by the way, I tell you thank you. By the way, you've been an amazing mom to me. She's an amazing mom to my daughter. Aww. Oh my God.
Aww.
I wouldn't. My gosh, for Nicole, she's the best.
She's blessed.
Yeah, and she's been very understanding about a lot of things. And I think if you're in a co-parenting situation, communication is the only thing that makes it work. Just that thing about being honest is very important. I don't know why Kenyans don't like doing it. Be honest. When you don't have something, you say you don't have. But also when you have,
give it out.
You understand? And even don't wait to be asked. Right?
You know, it's your duty, it's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility. There's a very interesting clip that Denzel Washington did on a movie that he did, and he was asking his son in the movie that why do you think that I do the things I do for you? And this child said, because you love me. And he said, no. And Denzel, and I agree with that clip. Denzel said, no, I don't do things for you because I love you. I do them because it is my responsibility
to do it.
You sleep in my bed, you eat my food, you live under my roof. What I do for you is because it is my responsibility to do it.
What's your take? What's your advice to be deadbeats? Deadbeats, Dad.
Deadbeats.
Yes. Honestly, because we have very few responsible fathers out here. So, Amma, what's your opinion then, generally?
First of all, let's be honest about this. I'm usually on the fence of the deadbeat situation.
Okay.
Right? Because most of the times, the man gets blamed for not providing for the child, but we don't know the circumstances behind it. So sometimes not everyone called a deadbeat is a deadbeat. Sometimes women can also make it very difficult for a man
to be available.
Yes. Right? Because there are women who use children against the men that they feel have wronged them. Right? But what I would say is this. Don't punish your child for situations you have with their mother. Period. That statement alone caters for everything.
Covers everything,
As long as it's your child, don't punish that child because ati wewe na mama yake mnakosana juu hizi na hizi. Set your standards. This is what I want. This is what I expect. And don't even fight for that baby like never before. It's all whenever you don't skizana with your baby mama, focus on the child. It is what the child needs, what the child should have, what the best whatever you can give the child. That way, even if that child grows up and that child is now 20 something years old, hata akikuja kwako akwambia mbona you and mom were not living together, unaweza mwambia lakini si unajua mama yako vile anakuanga ama namna gani. Sasa si mimi nilifanya my best. I tried, I did this, nilikulipia school fees, nilikubaia diapers, make sure kuna health care, make sure kuna hizi. Sasa kama mama yako atakuwa hivyo unataka nifanye nini?
Sure. What will you consider your biggest achievement so far?
My daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. My daughter, 100%. Everything else is fickle. Everything else. The cars we drive, the houses we live in, all of that they're just things.
But
my daughter is irreplaceable.
Is everything. How do you manage to stay out of trouble, Mike?
What makes you think I don't get into trouble?
No, as in not trouble like that. Public, like, you know, kwa Edgar, kwa Nairobi gossip.
Because I don't treat people badly.
Okay.
You see, hizo mambo za kuanikwa can happen. But I can be proud enough to say, even if you ever went and talked to my exes and whatever, I'm proud enough to say that none of them can say, Mike alinikosea hivi, Mike alinitesa hivi, Mike especially on a relationship level. Maybe on other levels, maybe I've done a few things here.
Kwaruzana kidogo as humans.
But in terms of the relationship, I'm just a big believer in me. Acha nikwambie ukweli yangu. You either take it or leave it.
Okay.
If you don't want it, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you want it, also sawa.
Yeah.
But ukifanya hivyo,
yeah.
Mambo ya kudanganyana kusema I'm not going to take you to Dubai. Msika na mimi wanadanganya twende Dubai. No, why am I taking you to Dubai? The only person I'll take to Dubai is my wife.
Yeah. Or your daughter.
Or my daughter.
Lazima nikakatata mbio hapo.
Or my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why am I taking a young girl ni kudanganya ati mimi? I may have the money to do it. I may have it.
Yeah.
Well, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Twende Diani tukule sherehe turudi.
So a lot of people compare you to Maina Kageni. Ebu tukimalizia. Do we expect to see you in a morning show? Because I'm sure a lot of radio presenters, that's their end goal.
It is one of my big dreams.
Yes.
It's the one show that I've never had.
Yeah.
My own breakfast show. I've had a drive show. I've had a late night show. I've even had a mid-morning show.
Yeah.
But I've never had my own breakfast show. It's one of my goals. I think that would epitomize my entire radio career.
Yeah.
But I would want it to happen in a nice, clean way. When people say, "Oh, Mike, you should, do like Maina," and I respect Maina. Maina is my friend.
Yeah.
He's my big brother. He's been a mentor. A lot of things.
Yeah.
But Maina is Maina.
Yeah.
And so Maina has. I don't want to fill his shoes.
Yeah.
I want to create shoes
for your
that
own.
Someone else can have to come in and fill.
Yes.
So that's why I even don't, to this day, still don't like the comparisons with Maina Kageni.
Yeah.
I understand people believe that we sound the same or we talk in the same way. Fine, but that's a generational thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nika ukiongelesha mtu wa Shembeteng leo, kama muliishi kwa hiyo time ya Shembeteng, muna sound the same. The things, how you express yourself is similar.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Maina Kageni, me, I give him his props. He's the greatest radio presenter that I've had the pleasure of interacting with.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But I want to create a similar legacy. Not to be the guy who took after Maina.
Yeah.
The guy who created his own niche.
Yeah.
That is what I want.
So do you think being under Classic 105 really fungiazi kidogo? Because that's like tunatanga nini? Because if you hear Mike Mondo, we are expecting Classic 105. Mbona vile Jalango alitoka hungechukua like
kama nifanye na nani
na Kamene, that's a morning show.
Do you know people don't know this?
What?
That Kamene and I were supposed to work together.
On Case 100. NRG? Yes. Then what happened?
NRG tried to poach me, but
when Kamene was there,
Kamene was there, yes, they tried to poach me, and we had meetings, but luckily enough, is my boss over here,
PQ,
Patrick Kwako, we had a conversation, and what he said made sense to me, and so because it made sense to me, I decided to stay. Yeah, but I was actually on leaving at some point.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, because I wanted my own breakfast show. It's been something I've really desired. Yeah. But when we had a conversation and I understood where he wants to take the entire company, I had faith in that, right? Yeah. Not that to say that on the other side it wasn't necessarily
of course.
good, but I'm just saying that at that point it made sense for me, right? And so I decided to stay and try and build the drive show and make it what it is today.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fact is, even me on a personal level, I would really love to have a Mike in the morning show. Yeah.
Would you ever leave Classic for anything? Something better,
no
greener pastures. All right, so
no comment, but
okay.
I love Classic 105. True. I love their audiences. I love the working situation. I've got an amazing co-host. She's really good at what she does, and I'd say.
Do people shuku you too? Because your chemistry is flawless as well. Do they think you're dating mnakulana nini? Do you get that a lot?
Big shout out to the chair lady of the Nairobi TD committee. That's what we call it. Sessa and I don't know. We're just close. People don't know that this chemistry between her and I started way before we started working together.
Oh, okay.
When she was at Smooth FM, when all of that, like we used to hang out a lot, and Sess is amazing.
Yeah.
Big shout out to her.
Yeah. Which celebrity would you like to really work with, radio presenter, if you were given a chance?
If I was given a chance,
Yeah.
Edward Quach.
Wow.
The former radio, no, I think right now he's at a different radio station.
Yeah.
We call him Edward Carrie Francis Quach.
Yeah.
If I could do a show with Edward Quach,
You're good.
oh my God! not that my current
Of course,
co-host
of
is
course,
not
yeah.
amazing, but I find him very. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Edward Quach for sure.
So give us a parting shot. What do you expect from you, maybe besides radio? Do we expect? Do you have other businesses that you'd love to plug over here?
Fanyeni hivi, first of all, let me salimia watu wacha nikuwe Mluya kidogo. Shout out to watu wote ambao wanakaa Kiambu Road, by the way. I love that barabara. It has taught me a lot. Also big shout out to wasewa Banda Homes. They were here earlier, but wameenda.
Unanitafutia connections huko.
Allah.
Plug.
Akina Paul Nderitu, akina Martin Kibote, big shout out to you. What to expect? More great conversations on radio. Make sure you always tune in to Mike and Sess, 3 to 7 p.m. And also expect a more vibrant show, for lack of a better way to put it, because I'm trying to change it, and I'm trying to change a way in terms of like mtakuwa mnaambia Glock na Makena mnasikia, by the way ulisikia Mike alisema nini leo, vitu kama hivi. Yeah, so it's going to be more bold, more shocking, but always just listen to Classic 105. I don't think we're bad. Our intentions are bad. Our intentions are very good.
True.
I know what to semanga.
You just have your own opinions. Yes.
You just have opinions.
Yes.
That's just it. And also remember, siasa imeisha. Kama siasa imeisha, tuendelee, be your brother's keeper.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so wise, by the way. Thank you so much for your time, Mike Mondo.
Yeah, asante. Sasa utatunulia round ya pili.
Si kwanza unini? Tupe your signature tune. Like you also like a Glow Up with Makena instead of Classic 105. Tukimaliza. Whatever you want to say. You're the creative here. I can't give you words.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you on Glow Up with Makena. I want you to do this. Make sure that you're always subscribing onto the channel. Click up hivyo, by the way, Udema kuna content poa sana, by the way. Sikizeni your content, watch that content. I'm trying to get her to start doing some audio content also. Hopefully she'll do it sometime soon. We don't know. But go ahead and do just that. And remember, always, be your brother's keeper. Let them connect to you, love them, treat them well, and treat others just like you'd like them to treat you. So, Glow Up with Makena, big shout out. I endorse this message.
Iweze.
Yes.